Hey, everybody. We got Mark Tanner is in the house, of course. My usual co-host, along with Justin. Justin's not feeling well tonight, and we wish him the best. I hope him and Emma are doing well, or get over this gunk that they have. Excuse me. This is really going to be a fun night. Just in the green room talking to Chad, who is our special guest tonight, the original bass player of DIrty Helen. He reminded me that there were other iterations that I had heard of and one I didn't even know about. So that's going to be fun. We've got so much to catch up on. I'm already grinning. I can feel my cheeks just cramping up because I've been smiling for the last hour talking to Chad. And we're going to go through the rest of the songs that we haven't covered, and the very earliest from the first record and from the second record. Yeah. I think we have 7 songs lined up tonight, so I'm not going to play on them all. I'm just going to play a little bit here and there, but I can't wait to... you know what? Let's just bring them in right now. Just say hello before we start into the first song. Everybody, welcome to the channel. It is Chad Hailey.
What's up, y'all?
Oh, wait a minute. I have this.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, it's just been so cool. These last few months of the text thread that we've had with the band. Hey, Patrick Chandler is here. Good to see you, Patrick. And then we actually met up, had a beer, and talked about the band, the entire band, including the replacement guy, Colin. And yeah. And it's been fun. And there was rumors of this possible reunion, and I figured I'd better start practicing. Oh, we've got Chad's sisters in the house. Hello, Nicole. Yay.
What's up, Nicole?
I hope you're doing... I know you're having fun. Chad was telling me a little bit about it. Where you are at this time.
Good stuff. This is... I'm like you. I've been smiling ear to ear. Just giddy about this and the possibilities and kind of what we've talked about. I think that the gathering, the reunion that we had was... It was fun. It was almost as though 20 years hadn't passed.
Yeah.
That was, I felt like we almost picked up right where we left off.
Yeah. Colin was still annoying Gary like he always does. I just remember no means no.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was so good to catch up with everybody. But you know what? Excuse me. I'm going to jump into the first one, and then I can't wait to talk to Chad about this one. This was one of my favorite songs that when I first heard it, I was like, I've got to be in this band and play this song. And then Chad and I have some really cool harmony moments and just beautiful writing. So this takes us way back. First record, first song of the album, I think. I don't remember. But... I'm going to jump over to this channel. This is called Master of Fools. And it jumped right when I clicked on it. All right, we're good. And Mark, please let me know how it's sounding out there.
Sitting on the bench outside the watching people acting like nobody cares. Still on the while they're watching people checking clothes and fixing that hair.
You know what happened there? I didn't set the song is so long. I'm going to jump right back into that. I didn't set the cycle range long enough to finish the song. That's funny. All right, I'm going to jump right back into this real quick. Where are we? Here we go.
People who watching people acting like nobody cares. Still on the while they're watching people checking clothes and fixing that hair. Juliet, went for out our safety net. Juliet,
never even thought to scroll out and see if I made the cycle range long enough for the song. Oh, real quick,
Isn't
I
that
wanted
funny?
to show off this guitar. This is there's something special about this one. This is my see if I can do this where I can. Yeah, this is my 1983 Fender Strat. That is a Frankenstein. I've got a Floyd Rose on here. I've got a JB stacked single coil here and a JB in the neck, standard Strat pickup. I have played this guitar for decades, and this is the guitar that I interviewed. What do they call that?
Tryout.
Auditioned.
Audition. There it is.
Yeah, so
We're smart enough to get that.
yeah, I wanted to show that one because it's. I literally pulled this out of the case today. It's been in the case for about 6 years. I just had the pickups put in, the new neck pickup put in, and had it just set up and everything. Had the frets recrowned, and I had it on my guitar stand. Walked by it, nudged it, and it went face forward down and just smacked.
Ouch.
And when I picked it up, the neck was kind of warped. And this guitar, notice what's missing. There is no truss rod there.
No
It's
truss, right,
connected
yeah.
at the body. So to just the neck, you've got to remove the neck from the body. So, there's a
a fun
happy
task.
accident to the story in that I'm planning on taking it out to the tone shop in Dallas to have the luthiers route out here and put one of those wheels so I can adjust the neck without removing it. But I've always kept this thing tuned down to E flat, and since tuning up to E, once the strings settled, it doesn't fret out anymore. So it turned out to play well tonight.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
we've got Jack Flash in the house. Good to see you, Jack. That is the other part of Jackdaw Flash. He and I, we do songs together. We
Cool.
write them and release them, and he's my very best friend in L.A. Did I miss anybody? Well, they'll filter in. Thanks again so much for being here, Patrick. By the way, anybody watches this on the replay, go to the Chandler Brothers on YouTube. Just search for them. They released a new song last week, which was fantastic. A new video. So please go out there and check them out. Give them a sub. So yeah, let's talk about Master of Fools.
What a song, you know? I mean, I think I remember hearing this one, and this was written before I came in. And we have Gary Batts in the house. Are you kidding me right now? Gary
No
Batts is
way.
in the house.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Gary.
the co-founder of this band that we're talking about. Hey, Gary, so good to see you, man. I can't wait to try to get you and Greg on here to have a chat with us.
No doubt.
Yeah, because
Gary, we're talking Master of Fools right now. So this song, they had written it as one of the other iterations of the band, and it was so unusual because it was this Tool-esque, like there were different fluctuations and time changes and of course mood changes just within the song itself. So you just felt all of it every time you heard this. You were like, okay, I've gone through every emotion. I've been angry, I've been joyful, I've had tears, like every emotion in one song. And it was so powerful for that reason. And of course, when they asked me to come be a part of what was going on, I'd never picked up a bass guitar before. And so this is the first song.
that's
that
right. You
we
were a
sit down
trumpet player, cornet, trumpet.
trumpet player, yeah.
Yeah.
So spent all my life on trumpet, and so from a young age, and to to sit down with this song and to really try to hammer it out and figure out like what is actually happening here. And this was pre-digital, like I guess convenient digital recording. So we didn't have a way to just like, let's throw down a recording so Chad's got something that he can, kind of go off of. It was make it all up and figure out what the heck's going on. So here I am with a bass guitar, never had one before. And I'm like, okay, let's make some noise happen. And so I was pretty proud of what we came up with. And obviously when you came, and Tim, and you got to join in and you brought the color that you brought to it, it was like, oh my gosh, this song came to life like no other. And such an incredible, it's almost a, gosh, it's a composition. It's not just a song. Like this was very crafted.
Yeah, there's no middle eight. There's no, a pre-designated. This is the pre-chorus. That's one thing I loved about this and the songs is that Gary says Greg's going to be the one. I don't know, Gary. You've got so much experience to share with us. So, but the song was so formulaic. It felt. And I hate to use this analogy, but it reminded me. This is 1998, or when I found out you guys. It reminded me of like the later Rush, the Roll the Bones era, Clockwork Angels. It was It was not formulaic, but they were constructed songs, and it's just you couldn't just lean in and jam with this band. You had to learn the music because the time's going to change.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, and I know what's coming up tonight too. So we've got some doozies that we're going to listen to, which I love. But I think that was the thing is towards the end of the previous, I guess the previous long running band before Dirty Helen was Jester's Folly. And Jester's Folly towards the end had started exploring space in song, so they weren't just writing, they would write some fun blues songs. They wrote some really great pop style songs, that were kind of alternative pop, but then they started exploring the space in a song, and for a trio, because it was just three guys in the band then, and for a trio to explore space like they did, it did feel very Rush-esque, like they did a great job. And then that translated into what the next band was called, it had a big name. It was called Lakra Method, and that band really explored space, and that was where Master of Fools was born, and there a couple of other songs. Leaving was born, which I know you've played before and you've done before. Leaving was born from that band. There were a couple of other songs that I don't know that we ever really tried to circle back with in Dirty Helen, simply because they didn't quite fit where we were going. But Master of Fools just locked in. There's a couple other songs that I know you played. Ode to Me.
Yep. Which I had song number 3 for the last 23 years because I didn't have a set list and I didn't know what the song was called until we met. So yeah.
From Poor David. Yeah, from Poor David. So Ode to Me, and then I think we medleyed that with Evidence. Yeah. Those two songs were later Dirty Helen. They were awesome.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier that they were this 3-piece, and you were able to come in, and that I kind of came in and colored. And I've talked about it in I think episode 1 or 2 of this series that this is the first band that I actually kind of came in as a colorist, because Greg was so confident and articulate on his acoustic. Yeah. I didn't want to change the sound of Dirty Helen. I wanted to fill it out, add power when I needed to, but I never had that opportunity. Plus, you were one busy bass player.
I felt like I had to be, because somebody had to fill that space up.
You did. And what was cool is that, I'm going to pat myself on the back, but I knew enough to get out of your way, because you're going to hear some of these bass lines tonight. Hope Child. Paid. You are walking. You're walking that bass, around through the song and carrying the song. So it was really cool to just find myself as a part of an orchestra and support it here and there. It
was fun. That some of the best music making that I have ever gotten to be a part of. And Mark, I love that. Some of the most trippy stuff out there is 3-piece. Man, there's some great stuff that's out there. And you think about it, you go back to stuff like even jazz, where you had Miles Davis trio, or you had, the John Coltrane trio, where they just really, you're like, it's just 3 guys, but man, did they get out there with some of the stuff that they were doing. And and you've got a Greg McCormick who loved that style of music, loved Radiohead, loved Tool, just like had this gambit of music that he was influenced by. I know Gary was influenced by so much of what his brother had introduced to him, the Rush, the Metallicas, some of these more technical bands. I know he loved Tool as well, and A Perfect Circle and those bands. And I fell in love with like jam bands. And so like I love Dave Matthews Band and Blues Traveler, and and so when you started putting us all together, it was this weird mesh. And then of course here you come, and you're bringing something that none of us even had, that was so colorful and so amazing that we just made it.
I was the guy that listened to Mr. and Toto. I was the pop guy that said, so but it all worked.
Toto, I love it.
Let's see what we have up next real quick. We just talked about it. Hope Child's coming up next.
No.
I'm not going to play with it. We're going to listen to it. Yeah, I don't need to put up the other thing. This time I'm going to make sure that my cycle range is clearly extended. Oh, you know what? Paid would have got cut off too. I need to put that one out because Paid was so long. It was like that Rush interview on Colbert when he asked them, your songs are so long, did you ever find yourself at the end of the song being inspired by yourself? Paid's like that. But all right, this is, please take note, everybody, to the bass on this. Great bass part.
Oh, man.
And then we can talk about the song, because it's a beautiful story, and you probably know more about it than I do. One of these days we'll get Greg on here and he can tell us exactly what these songs are about. But he would say that this song is about bananas.
She watches shadows on the wall come and then they go away. Somewhere should be said, oh child. I think somewhere should be written, oh child. Tears in the house, screams in paper thin walls. Little fingers shaking, she's a mouse. And the doctors can't believe she's crazy. Well, so what if I can hug myself and live in the play? Just another day as hope child. So what if I can hold myself and live in the play? Just another day as hope child. Hey! Boundless blue. I can hold myself from living play. Just another day as home child. Hey! Marionette plays on the wild. She can still smile. 'Cause everywhere there's butterflies. Watching a home child. Watching a home child. Marionette plays on the wild. She can still smile. Everywhere there's butterflies. Watching a home child. Watching a home child. She watches shadows on the wall come go away. She sees the tears in the house. Screams in paper thin walls. Finger shake, she's a mouse. Oh, child. Oh, child.
Yeah.
Golly. You know what I remember? I remember going into the studio and I remember we were pressed for time. We had taken, I think 700 years worth of gig money and decided to go into the studio and make a record. And I remember having to, I think we got to track for 2 days. And Gary and I pretty much had to nail our parts. Like there wasn't another option. We needed to get it nailed.
Yeah.
And having to play that, I remember playing that bass track and like nailing it. I was in awe of myself, and like I'm not in an arrogant way, just like, oh my gosh, I nailed that. Like, holy moly, that's incredible, because that's not an easy part to play. It's very taxing, and
you're in the pocket.
Yeah. Yes,
You've always had a great set of time. Just sits right in the pocket.
Well, that's. I had a great drummer to follow too, so that made it easy.
Yeah, and this was recorded at Nomad Recording Studio, Dallas. I had worked with Gary Long, the owner in the past. The owner of the studio, who is a drummer, later became the drummer for Featherhead, which was great for me because we had a studio. Now,
right?
I had keys, but if I recall, and Gary, we were trying to barter. I was trying to barter a deal. I did some web. I was a web designer back then. I said that if he'd give us a discount, I would do some web design work for him. And Gary, being the woodworker that he was, created those beautiful wooden baffles.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what they were called, Gary, but these beautiful wooden sound
The
diffusers. Yes.
Yeah. That we put those. We ended up hanging those in the guitar room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there were 4. So we put 2 in the guitar room, 2 in the piano room, or the amp room, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, people.
Yeah, gosh, I forgot about those. Yeah, that was cool.
People, because I continued, I kind of apprenticed for him. That's how I learned recording, was kind of helping out with stuff. And people would come in there and bass traps, that's what they were. All commented on how beautiful those were. And that was recorded, this was before Pro Tools. That album was cut to 2-inch, 24 track. Cost us $363 for the reel. I think we only used 1 reel. No, we bought 2 reels. Oh no, we bought one, and he let us record over and someone that didn't pay him.
I got you.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember Cole Marshall was the producer and the recordist on this. He's now up in New York. I remember we cut the bass, cut the bedding tracks. I did my guitar overdubs, and then the third day, Greg, started doing his vocals, and I was sitting in the control room, and Cole's, he's going through a track, and Cole lowers the volume in the control room, just looks at me and goes, "This guy can sing." And he pulls it back up. I was like, yeah. So that was cool.
That was fun. Was fun. Good stuff.
And then the next one up is Gaining Ground or Sanctuary. And I recall, and I'm not going to play on this one either. I'm going to let it play out. But because we used to rehearse at Gary's dad's wood shop. We could keep one corner of it, just cover our stuff so we don't get sawdust and everything. And it was after a storm, and there were puddles of water in there. Remember that? And because we used to have these epic rehearsals that would come in at 7, 8, and people would come. Our friends would come with ice chests, and we'd play and jam till morning.
Yeah.
And the water pools were there, and while we were playing, there were some girls that were jumping up and dancing in the water. And I remember Greg coming up with that lyric, and then the song was kind of born from that. That's how I remember it. I could be wrong.
Well, I was trying to remember, because I know there were a couple of songs from this one that he and I kind of hammered out. I know this one, and then Leaving, we kind of hammered out to figure out what the flow of the song was going to be. And I think it was this one, and then Leaving, or not Leaving, I'm sorry, Literally, and then Can Spam. We just kind of figured out what's the flow of the song and whatnot. Yeah, this one was fun because it was, I don't know, it was a left turn from where we had been. And so it was a refreshing left turn. I felt like this was the start of something fun and new.
Yeah. And on that, this one's called Gaining Ground or Sanctuary.
As I walk in
That was a left turn from where we had come from. That's a good call. And you know what's weird? I've just noticed that we did something there that's very unusual. Rick Beato would be like, let's break this down. People don't do this. So you've got the dance like adolescent fools. We set up the song on the 5. You'd think it's going to go. We set up the intro to the chorus.
Yeah.
We just added a ninth to it. Who does that?
Greg does. That's
Yeah. Let's find that real quick. Shouldn't be hard. That's just so interesting.
it's such a, it's almost, it's like something Mozart would have done. Mozart, he always did the unconventional. His changes were always off the wall. Like he would do something and you'd go, well, that didn't make any sense, but it sounded really good, but it didn't make any sense.
It made me feel something I wasn't expecting,
Yeah.
Did you see the interview that Rick Beato did? No, this channel's not sponsored. Video's not sponsored by Rick Beato, but I'm a fan. When he interviewed Sting, and he asked Sting, this was a few months ago, he asked Sting, do you listen to music, to new music? And if you do, what do you listen to? And he says, if I'm not surprised in the first 12 bars or 16 bars, next. He wants to be surprised. Wow. And I'm looking over at this monitor. I'm sorry. That's one thing that this band did for me. There was a surprise lurking around every corner. But it wasn't just gimmicky. It was well orchestrated, well thought out, and extremely well performed. I've told in the last show that as a musician, as a kind of a hired gun as I was for Tiffany Shea and some other bands, my goal was to be in a band, be the worst musician in the band. I want to surround myself with the best people, and I'm a pretty good player, so that was a tall bill for me to think about. Not with these guys. You guys were like, yeah, get off your horse and let's go to work.
I think that was one of the things that I felt like we did so well. I remember hearing the story not too long ago. I read a book by a guy named Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers, and in this book he talked about, because he's talking about anomalies and people or things that come along that just change the world. And he's talking about the Beatles specifically, and he was talking about how the Beatles got their start, and how they end up playing. They get invited to, I think it was like Amsterdam or something.
Berlin,
like that.
In Amsterdam,
and they end up playing in this like basically a stripper bar,
burlesque club.
Yeah. So like for 4 hours a day, every day for like 6 months or something like that. And so you're going, these guys are getting 4 hours of rehearsal every single day, 7 days a week. And you just start figuring some things out, and I think that was one of the things that we did so well. Those long nights at the warehouse weren't just long nights at the warehouse. I mean, there were times when I know that we were all there, and there was no one else there but us.
Yeah,
and we just like it was euphoric, just getting lost in what we were doing, and finding our own way and finding a way to figure, how do we make this work? How does this song come about? How do we birth this into something that's complete? And I think those were some of the best memories, some of the best times, is when we were hammering it out, and it wasn't the funnest of times sometimes, because it was work. I mean, it really was.
We would play a section of 8 bars over and over for an hour, and there would be subtle like Gary might try just a slightly different beat, which would cause you to, I need to lock into that, and then that would trigger Greg, and we would just the discipline. And you're right, it was long, epically long hours of rehearsal, but they weren't rehearsing. We weren't rehearsing songs by rote. We were creating and improving, jamming, finding, carving, honing, laughing a lot.
Oh gosh. Yes. I think that it was funny. I look back and I think the revelation hit me the other day, because I think I went to go have coffee with a friend. Well, still to this day I don't drink coffee. And so to go have coffee with a friend means I'm going to go sit with you while you drink coffee, and I'll have water, and it'll be fine. But so that was so foreign to you guys that I didn't drink coffee.
That's right, because we kept that coffee pot rolling.
Oh, it was always
on. Yeah,
always.
and
I think it started the minute we walked in for rehearsal. It was like, let's get the coffee going, and then it just went from there. So.
Yeah, and we had the luxury of being in a warehouse district at night with full PA. And this is back when I was playing, a Marshall Silver Jubilee 50-watt head through a 412, and warming that amp up.
I remember you and I both had wall cabs. I mean, because you had that Marshall stack, and then I had that Ampeg stack.
Yeah, you had that that 810.
Yeah, well, I had the Ampeg first, and then I got the Hart keys. Remember, I got that Hart key 1x15 and then the 4x10 that I put on top. That was man, that was a rocking that was a rocking rig.
Yeah, that who has your 810 cabinet, the one that you got from Reverend Horton Heat.
Yeah,
Chad Allen has it.
Chad Allen has it,
and it still says "Dirty Helen" stenciled on the front.
It's in the right hands then.
It's in his jam room.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to jump over to Literally. This was the title of our second album. This is one of those songs typical of Greg where you probably need to get out a dictionary. And what is a myrmidon? Greg was is well read. So, but it's a beautiful song. I love the dynamics. And when we were recording this, I remember Rick, our general manager, McFarlane, was like, he loved the whales. He called what I was doing the volume swells. He do more of those whale songs, So anyway, this is called Literally, and this is another rule that he broke. Never start a song or start a verse with and if you can laugh. And I fought with him on these lyrics. I said, why? No, just say, if you can laugh. And he says, no, I want people to walk in like they're walking into the middle of a conversation. I was like, yeah, I did it again. He taught me so much about songwriting. But this is literally.
Love it.
Let's start at the beginning.
Maybe go to the beginning.
And if you can laugh at yourself, you can always laugh at me. If you forget your good intentions, you can tie them on with a string. Cookie's fortune says I'm loved, but how can I be loved when you don't care? There's a silver line when the clouds smear. Like a gun and if hanging out is as by yourself, then why can't you cry with me? If you harbor your cold dissension, then I wait it out till the spring. A piece of paper says I'm loved, but how can I be loved when I don't care? There's a silver line in the clouds somewhere. Like a cotton candy chandelier. And if hanging on is as close as I get to there, don't have a pension for mystery. Stop using your cares to laugh with me. I follow my soul like an early dawn. I'm not to be taken
That had some power in it.
Such an amazing song.
You froze on me here, Chad. I bet your internet's acting up again, but I can hear you.
It could be. I'm trying to. Yeah, I was trying to get it sorted out, but it's not. It's giving me fits here right now. Give me a minute, and hopefully I'll re-emerge as the normal. Of course, at least you get a good smiling face out of it.
Yeah. You didn't derp.
Yeah, Mark, that song. I mean, that Mark's. I can see his love this track. That song. I felt like that was the one from that album that had the most potential. We did a lot to adjust some of our other songs to really kind of make them a little more commercialized. We shortened and snipped and cut here and there to really make everything fit. But that song in and of itself, it was very. And I say this, and I'm going to say this and not mean it in any sort of negative way, but it was very much like a Mark Tremonti, Creed, Scott Stapp, or Scott.
Yeah, it was an epic ballad, power ballad.
Yes, this epic power ballad, and I never felt like when we got to the studio that we were able to give it everything that it needed to be that.
Yeah,
like it was almost there. It was really good, but gosh, it could have been massive.
Yeah. You know what I remember? This was the time of Bands on the Run, VH1's Bands on the Run.
Yes.
And our local friends, Flickerstrick, won the whole thing. And when they won it and they put the record out, they had that song Smile. That's quiet and has massive chorus. I remember thinking, because we were recording this when that dropped, I'm like, if we can get this on the radio, because it was hand in hand with what they were doing. And did you know that Rick Beato produced that record?
I did not know that.
I'm blown away by it. You know what, Chad, real quick, let's try drop. Why don't you jump out of the call and come back in and see if that resets it?
Okay, yep, I'll do that, and then let's see what we can do here.
Hey, you're back. So, and I can see you. Everything looks great. You're moving.
Oh, hey, good.
Yay!
Hey, everyone.
That was so easy. It's our first glitch that we've had to.
Well, again, I'll say it again. Welcome to country internet. I mean, when you live out in the middle of nowhere, it's the cows don't really need Google. So
Yeah, no kidding. And Mark brought up something here that I've been meaning to talk about since the series started, and I always, oh look, squirrel. He says right here, I can hear it in my head with dynamics. That's one thing this band never really talked about, but always applied. We had the ability to really utilize dynamics. I mean, even on the jam stuff, it'll suck down to just bass and drums kind of doing a quiet thing, and we just knew how to ebb and flow. And it takes a lot to utilize that properly. Let's just see, what is this? I remember recorded at Pineapple. Chad said, okay, quarter crashes in the chorus. Yeah.
I was just telling Gary, I was like, Pineapple. I couldn't remember the name of that studio. I was like, it was right there next to Gilligan's, and we would walk across the street and have lunch or grab a beer or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. I played that. Lindsey Rigdon owns that, or did. He now closed that down, but I got to play in Greene County, so I got to do a lot more recording over there too. His band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just I am loving rediscovering this history. We were fortunate to have recorded so much music.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Especially at a time when it wasn't nearly as easy to do.
Right.
It was.
This still took
these days
to do an album. It's going to cost anywhere from start to finish with $8,000 to $10,000 to do a full album.
Yeah.
We worked our mojo and got it for around 2,000, but we had to do a lot of things to get it done. But
I remember those first songs that we recorded at Nomad, and we considered, I think we considered calling that album 2 Days in the Hole at one point in time.
Cool. Hey, Blue, it's so good to see you here. This is just a special night. We got Chad, the original bass player, here with us, and we've got Gary Batts, the original founding member drummer, in the chat. It's just all we need is Greg and Gooch and Colin, but we can't have Colin on a Saturday. He's working.
Well,
I'm going to cue up the next one. This was another one that we thought really had radio single potential. And I'm going to call Greg out on this one. He was constantly trying alternate tunings, and he wrote the song. It's called Drop. And then when we came back, we didn't perform it on the tour. He couldn't remember the tuning that he used, and he couldn't remember how to play it.
Yep.
So we just didn't play it. And I have a funny story that I'll remind me that to talk about the vocals at the end, the harmonies at the end of the song. But this one was definitely very radio friendly for 2002. It's called Drop.
These thoughts spill out of my mind and onto the earth. As if I didn't know they'd all come raining down in my world. higher ground. Better find something stable. Better find some higher ground. Better find someone that will enable, because my dirt will clean off eventually. My dirt will clean off. Comes so often that it's gotta be an elaborate plan. Take part of me, kill these parts of me. Comes so often that it's gotta be an elaborate plan. Take part of me, kill these parts of me. These thoughts spilled out of my mind and on the earth. Is it gonna be food for a nation or hate, man? What's that? These drops of information document the life. Tales of an ocean coming, gonna wipe us out of sight. Out of sight. Comes so often that it's gotta be an elaborate plan. Take part of me, kill these parts of me. Comes so often that it's gotta be an elaborate plan. Take part of me, kill these parts of me.
We were just talking about
rock.
dynamics, you know. But I remember this. We're mixing the song, and on that last chorus, and Greg and I looked at each other and started singing a harmony answer to it. And
Yeah.
I forget who was mixing it. I think Lindsay was. And he's like, get in there and do it. Just got mics out there. Go sing it during the mix down. So we went in there and quickly tracked them and find that part.
These drops of information document the life. Tales of an ocean coming, gonna wipe us out of sight.
Right here.
Out of sight. It comes so often that it's gotta be an elaborate plan. Take part of me, kill these parts of me. It comes so often that it's gotta be an elaborate plan. Take part of me, kill these parts of me.
Yeah, it was just, I think we did that a lot. We would hear parts during the mixdown phase, and we had our engineers kind of programmed to have a mic set up so we could jump in there and do something. But those drums on that, the toot-toot, and then he changes the pattern slightly. And comes, it's just, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
What do you remember
Yeah, so-
about that song?
Sitting here reading the comments, and Mark and Blue both talking about just that kind of connection with the Counting Crows, and I said, yeah, there was always, I always felt like there was Counting Crows in the bloodline, in the bloodline of the band. Like you could hear it back there, just melodically, you could hear a lot of things. But I think that's what was so amazing, was that we all were influenced by different artists and different bands, but we all brought I think what we really brought to the table was our each one of us brought our uniqueness and our creativity to the table. And so the influences that each of us had, we were able to bring that to the table and bring something to life that I think, Tim, you've said it time and time again, that was way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
It was fresh and it was new, but it was familiar all at the same time. And you were like, wow, this is different. What is happening? And you're hearing things, and that's why the songs to me, they're compositions. It's not just, it's just, it's four chords and the truth. It's not a song. This is something more than that.
Yeah. And we refuse to be pigeonholed into, we're going to be this type of band. So we started doing the EPs. We did the EP of The Light, of just 3 ballads. Then we did the EP of the heavy, which was heavy stuff. And then we were going to do an EP of the funk, which was going to be the Judys, and the that one never came out. But we were just not easily pigeonholed. Kings of X.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim, King's X, Gary, Rush.
I know you put all that together, Gary, and it's funny what I think what we ended up coming up with was it was just fresh. It was something. It's why we can all go back to this day. Like there's times when I know if I've got a reasonably long drive, if it's more than 20 minutes on me, there's more times than I can recount where I've thrown in some Dirty Helen and just gone, okay, let's just have some fun again.
Yeah.
You know.
But let's just look at this real quick. Thanks, Gary, for these, because it's perfect analogy of what we're saying. Greg, and was Radiohead. Dave Matthews from you. King's X for me. That's totally true. And then Rush. And that is Dirty Helen. It's Radio Dave King Rush.
Easy, you know?
Yeah.
You can hear it anywhere from Tool to Jewel, Gary. That's hilarious. That's funny.
Wait, what? Jewel. Thanks, because it's Jewel's probably the one, because I was so much into the pop music.
Well, but remember when we did at Poor David's, we did Fade Into You by Mazzy Star.
That's right.
And I can go back and listen to that, and I think a couple of things that really got me, that particular night was such a great example of how much time we had all spent together playing music, because I think Greg had played that before, and I think he might have played it by himself at some point in time somewhere along the way, and it was somebody hollered it out that night and said Fade Into You, and he started playing, and we all just said, okay, well, let's just do that. And so we all played along. Well, Tim, what you created that night with that song, oh my goodness, I still get chills when I go back and listen to it, because it was so cool. Like you started doing this arpeggio thing that grew and grew and grew. Yeah. Yes.
You know what's funny is I never heard the song before. I thought it was actually. I told Greg, "Oh man, that's a great song. When did you write that?" And he goes like, "Oh, Mazzy Star." I'm like, "Is he talking in is that a star, that constellation of a month that he wrote it under?" I've never heard of the band, and I was just responding to what you guys were doing, and I heard that song later, and I'm not far from what the guy was doing. I just. Yeah, I was going to play that on the Port David's one, but I just didn't want to. I don't want to copyright strike or claim.
Yeah, I don't want to take anybody off or anything like that.
Yeah, we've got just one more song, which I'm certainly not going to play on.
Can I set this one up?
Oh, please do, because I know little about the song.
So this one was really fun, and Gary, I bet Gary will probably remember this night. You actually had something going on, and you had an engagement that you weren't able to be at rehearsal that night. But we decided, hey, let's just get together and we're going to make some noise. We don't have anything else to do because, well, we had no life and it was a Saturday night. So we Gary and Greg and I got together, and Greg started playing this thing, and I was like, what is that? And it was weird, and we were like, what is he doing? And Gary and I are both sitting there puzzled, trying to figure out like what time signature is he actually playing in. And there had been a song that we played. I think Gary and I definitely got to play it. I don't think Greg was there, but we played in jazz band in high school, and it's a song by Pat Metheny, who, if you know Pat Metheny, incredible guitar player and composer. He wrote a song called The First Circle. And if you've never heard the song before, go listen to The First Circle. It's beautiful. It is just an incredible composition. But it was this alternating 12/8, 10/8 time signature that was the weirdest thing that we'd ever heard, but it was so cool when you pulled it off. And so Greg's doing this thing, and it's in like a 7/8 time, and he's morphing back and forth between this 7/8 time and like almost like an 8/8 or a 4/4, and it was the coolest thing. And so we just hammered that for, oh gosh, it must have been 3 to 4 hours.
Wow.
Gary, do you remember this when we were doing this? It was like we hammered just this one little time signature over and over and over again for like 4 hours, and finally felt comfortable enough to it. And then when Tim comes in, we had locked everything down so that you were able to come in and go, oh, okay, cool, this is cool, let's do this. So,
Well,
but
no,
it was
that was my initial reaction was, where's the one?
because it's
'Cause
insane.
I want to play with this,
song
but tell
for
me,
that reason.
I think probably I told Gary, hey, just point your stick at me when you want me to come in. Don't throw it at me, just point it at me.
This thing was a monster. It was so much fun.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna dive into this one. I'm gonna make sure that the cycle range is long enough because this song is not short. Yes, we're good. All right. Yeah, this one is called Paid.
Cup in my hand, grand as it may be. I got to empty the cup in my hand, grand as it may be. Cause my love relieves the broken hearted son and so much, and it goes to show I get paid for nothing. Full of so much, and it goes to show I get paid. Well, you get paid, we get paid, I get paid for nothing. Hey! So this ain't just for the day I walk into this bar. I take off my hat, let everybody see my face. I feel naked. I hope that this will do the trick and let everybody see my range. I don't think so. Red and blue flash in my veins, push to the surface, gonna pan through this page. I've got to find a way to release this pain and get on to better days. Get on to better days. And the people are telling me different, but I believe.
Great bass work here.
Think the feelings of what I need.
Yeah, this is fun.
So I lean into the wind against my cheek. Full of so much, and it goes to show I get paid for nothing. Full of so much, and it goes to show I get paid when you get paid, we get paid, I get paid for nothing.
Is the song over?
After all these thoughts, my mind felt used up, I felt weak, I had to sit down.
Getting warmed up.
So surprise myself, socialize, or maybe even dance with that stranger over there. Tip an empty glass, pay the fat tab, and walk on out to life's road. This is my life on pause, but never rewind. This is my life on pause, but never rewind. You can't take it back. You can't take it back. You can't take it back. No. The people are telling me different. The people are telling me different. The people are telling me different. 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 But I believe. So here's to all the people telling me different. Go to the streets sometime tonight and look for the power wheel in that circus charade. Cause where you think the light should shine, and target mark the faceless will once again score your trust in a useless parade. I need answers to the questions that I seek. I need a reason for these pains and penalties. Yeah, when I can't take what you're giving me. We're full of so much, and it goes to show I get paid for nothing. We're full of so much, and it goes to show I get paid. We get paid, we get paid, I get paid for nothing. Hey! Yeah!
God, that song.
Was it, we should have ended it with what key are we in?
Was that the one they re-recorded at Nomad? Was that from the Sleep album?
Yes, and we remixed it for Literally.
We actually re-recorded it for Literally.
Did we?
Yes, because I remember not liking what I played nearly as much as on the Sleep album.
Yeah, that the sound was, in my opinion, the sound of the Sleep album was superior. Granted, it was a 2-inch tape. I love the drum sound on Sleep. It's just punchy, crisp, clean, buried on Literally. Your bass also just shone on the Sleep album too. It was more present. Buried on the,
Well, and I wonder, Nick was great. I loved working with Nick, but I think Cole just knew how to get things to sit in the mix so you could hear things really clearly. He just was experienced that way.
Well, and he had 20 years on Nick. Cole had been doing it. I think he was producing records and mixing records for 15 years. Nick had been doing it for like 3.
Yeah.
And plus, Nick was, I don't remember if we were in Pro Tools or we were on Radar. I think we were on Radar.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what we recorded.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, so.
That's good stuff, man. That was fun stuff.
Good stuff. Where are we at? Hour 20, longest episode yet. But thank you, everybody, for sticking with us this long. I could talk to you for another 2 hours because there's still questions I want to have, but maybe we can do another one.
Strap in, man. I'm good to go. Let's roll.
I got to pee, so I'll just I'll jump over here and go. Oh, you're not set up there.
Ah!
I'll jump over here and go. Okay, I'll be right back. No, I'm not going to do that.
All good. Yeah, Gary, that song was always fun to play, but when it was the last song of the night, oh my.
That's true. It was always the last song of the night, and it's an 8-minute song. And
Yeah.
I'm surprised your arms didn't fall off, Gary. He must have been in the best shape of his life.
I was like, that's he was the lean one of all of us.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say my goodbyes real quick. I want to jump back to the beginning. I can't go back that far. But if you're still here, Patrick, Chandler, thanks so much. Again, everybody go to Chandler Brothers on YouTube. They've dropped a new video last week. It's really great. Thank you, Nicole. I hope you're doing well on that ocean. Thanks as always, Mark. Love to see you here, brother. Of course, thank you, Gary Batts, the co-founder of the band and the monster drum. I've said it before, but do you remember towards the end? You might have been. This was the Colin era, but when we got to where we were headlining, and we got to set the stage the way we wanted to, we would put Gary stage right, turn towards the center, facing a little bit towards Greg so people could watch his hands and feet. It was an octopus back there. It was just a focal point of the band. So cool to be able to play with him. Thank you, Brother Blue. Good to see you, man. I'm glad that you got here this time and got to hang a little bit. Usually he'll drop in. It's because of his timing that it's usually right when we're saying goodbye, but he got to hear some songs live and chime in. I appreciate that. Anybody else that I missed? If I did, I'm sorry. But Chad, thanks so much, man. I my cheeks are just cramped because I just keep grinning.
Right.
It's just it's joyful to talk to someone who experienced those moments and bled in those rooms.
Yeah. Those are great times, and yeah, thanks for having me on and let me come hang out. This is fun.
Yeah. I've got some other series that we're planning. I'm trying to put a panel together just to talk about things like how do you deal with burnout as a musician, especially post-COVID, because that had a great effect on me, negative and positive. We want to have a panel that talks about what happens to your instruments when you pass, when you die. Have a plan. If you're a musician like me that has way too many guitars that I forget how many. There's times when I've opened up a case and I'm like, oh, I forgot I own this. I want to make sure that they get in the hands of people that are going to play them, and we'll have a panel talking about that stuff. And
oh, that's cool.
Hey, good night, Gary. Thank you so much for being here, man. Thanks for adding all that content, filling in the gaps in our conversation. So, well, Chad, I guess from the band text, we need to pick out a Monday or a Tuesday and meet at Gilligan's, where I joined all the shenanigans. I think my first show is at Gilligan's with you guys.
Yeah.
And then develop a plan.
A plan. I know. Whew.
Yeah. Scary to think that, but
I feel like I'm behind the eight ball on that. I don't even own a bass guitar anymore. So.
Well, we'll got you covered, and you could also double on the acoustic guitar. And between Colin and I, we've got more basses than we ever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Short panel for me. Dumpster. No, they're not going to go in the dumpster, Blue. You're not. It's guitars. You got to check out Blue Gubrious' channel, Chad, and everybody that's watching. this guy is a monster. He's got one of the best rock voices I've heard. Writes great music, plays really good guitar. He's a good guy.
I will check him out.
Well, thanks again, Chad, for joining me on this. It was a joy, as I knew it would be.
Yeah, definitely.
And thank you, everybody, for being here. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do so. As I said before, 87% of the people that watch my content are not subscribed. So, doesn't cost you anything. Don't hurt to ask.
Right, yeah, no doubt.
All right, well, thank you, guys. Love you, Chad. Can't wait to talk to you and give you a hug again. And
Yep.
we'll see you guys
Soon
next
enough.
week.
All right.
All right.